Hey guys, today I want to talk about Tracer. 3 tips for her, 3 tips against her. I might throw in an extra tip here and there just so you get those extra things. I like to keep these videos short, so let's get started. In a situation that you find yourself against a couple people with skill shots, Tracer is extremely good at taking out multiple people with skill shots just because she can dodge like 90% of their damage. So in a scenario like this, you want to take these fights just because you know you can dodge everything. So in this case, this Tracer takes the fight really well, gets out of range of the drain life, goes in, takes out Brightwing, and leaves, I mean, without dying, but a decent chunk of damage, and then Avatar decides to help her out. Tracer's siege doesn't seem very high, but there's a lot of things that you can do to increase her siege damage by making sure to utilize your abilities. In this case, this Tracer goes through and uses her bomb to bomb it, and after the bomb goes on cooldown, uses her melee to get her bomb back off cooldown. In the process of taking out a tower, she gets 33% of her ult back. So simply by doing this, she got essentially 500 experience for her team taking out both of these towers, and she's halfway to getting her bomb back. One quick tip for Tracer is if you're using on release for your Q or even the cast and then click, it's going to feel really sluggish. For example, if I wanted to Q in a triangle, that's what it's going to look like. You can speed it up a little bit just because on release can be pretty fast, but it still is going to feel a little sluggish. So what I always recommend is make a specific hotkey profile purely for Tracer. So as you can see, I created a profile and I made one called Tracer. Then you can go into quick cast settings and change whatever you want to. In this case, I'm going to change blink to on for quick casting. This makes it to where it's not going to show me the range of the Q. Instead, it's just going to cast it. So I'm going to toggle cooldowns for a second. I'm going to show you. It's a lot faster, and it's going to feel a lot more smooth when you're actually playing the game. One great way to counter Tracer is to simply use point and click stuns, point and click abilities. And in this case, Varian was drafted to counter, and during the course of a taunt, Tracer was taken out. Against Tracer, oftentimes drafting a Genji is really strong for a few reasons, but one mainly because if Tracer begins attacking you, you can simply use deflect and take out Tracer very, very quickly. Even some of the best Tracers forget to press H. H is the button that stops your character from attacking on Tracer. So by pressing H allows you to stop attacking when the Genji's deflecting. Well, the deflect only lasts 1.25 seconds, right? And usually they don't realize you're doing it, and sometimes you can trick them by going up to them, and then when they attack you, they might press H too early. So it's nice because you can quickly kind of bait them in and out. So even if you're playing against a good Tracer, you can still sometimes get a deflect kill off on her. The last two options that I told you to counter Tracer were both specific drafts. By picking people like Varian who have single target point and click stuns or roots or taunts or anything like that, and some other ones like Genji who can use deflect to abuse the fact that she attacks really, really fast. But you don't actually need to draft too much against Tracer. While that is very important, just playing ranged auto attackers and focusing on attacking Tracer can get her low very quickly because she can't dodge that. So in most scenarios where she is say I'm just using my abilities to keep up with her, she has less health, and while she can win in a one-on-one situation, she can't dodge auto attacks. So if you have like 1 or 2 auto attackers, simply focus on your auto attacks being on Tracer whenever she gets close, as she can't dodge the auto attacks. She can only dodge skill shots. So even if you don't draft specifically against Tracer, make sure that your ranged are auto attacking Tracer whenever she comes in. Some heroes can get a little bit of extra benefits. For example, if you played Li Ming and they pick Tracer, it's going to be impossible to land your Q and your W against a good Tracer, but Cannoneer allows you to get high damage auto attacks on Tracer whenever she shows up. Same with Chromie. Her Bronze Talons allows her to get high damage auto attacks when she shows up, despite the fact you may be missing some of your other abilities. So start using your ranged auto attacks to take out Tracers. You can see very quickly how fast you can get down a Tracer by simply just doing auto attacks without any other abilities whatsoever. You can still be very threatening to this Tracer. But yeah, so that's effectively how you're going to be countering Tracer if you didn't draft directly against her. That was my Tracer 3 tips for, 3 tips against. If you like this style of video, feel free to subscribe, toss in some comments below, and as always, feel free to check out any of my other videos.